She's so fine. Hell of a hell of a blows my mind. Hell of a hell of a lights my day.
What's good, guys? Today is Monday, December the 12th, 2022. This video will be regarding the Shanquella Robinson case. And specifically, I wanted to take a look at the Metropoli website where the journalist Gerardo Zuniga works. And when I went to look at their website, I noticed that they had done an article a few days back, less than a week ago, regarding Daejhanae Jackson, and I just missed it. So I apologize, but I'm going to cover it now. So let's see what they have to say. Now, Metropolitics came out with this article on December the 6th, 2022. I missed it. It's titled, "The Name of Daejhanae Jackson is Now Criminal File J664/2022. J for Jackson, her last name. 664 would be the case number, and 2022 would be the year. It says the government of Mexico has taken precautionary measures so that the name of the murderer of Shanquella Robinson was not exposed to the media." It goes on to show this little snippet right here. And it's got Daejhanae with a ribbon running through her eyes with this specific wording: "Is presumed innocent until responsibility is declared by the judicial authority." Article 13, National Code of Criminal Procedures in Mexico. And that is how they have to address Daejhanae Jackson, according to the law in Mexico. Now, there is some useful stuff in this article. It says the name of Daejhanae Imani Jackson appears in file J664/2022, a case open for the femicide of Shanquella Robinson. When she steps on Mexican territory, the 25-year-old will have to answer for the horrific crime of her friend, who was beaten to death on October the 29th, 2022, in a condominium of the Cabo Villas complex of this tourist destination. Goes on to say the criminal court of the Adversarial System in the Judicial District of Los Cabos issued an arrest warrant against Daejhanae Imani Jackson, formally charging her with the crime of femicide. On November the 21st, the Baja California Sur State Attorney General's Office officially delivered the request to execute the arrest warrant for extradition purposes against Daejhanae Jackson. Now, here's how the process of international extradition law goes down. The State Attorney General's Office has to deliver the request to the Republic Attorney General's Office. The Attorney General of the Republic takes that documentation and assesses whether the evidence is declared admissible, and they decided that the evidence against Daejhanae Jackson is solid in this case. The Attorney General of the Republic then delivered the formal request to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who then made the formal delivery to the U.S. government. But here's where it got a little tricky. It says after her arrest, as in it hasn't happened yet, the United States government will have 30 days to answer whether or not the extradition of the murderer of Shanquella Robinson, declared by the Mexican government as a fugitive from justice, proceeds. So it sounds like there she hasn't been detained or any of that. Now, what it's saying though is that the U.S. has 30 days to decide whether or not they're going to send Daejhanae Jackson to the Mexican government as she is a fugitive from justice there. This is also important. It says, in the process of presentation of this file, the government of Mexico requested the U.S. government to take precautionary measures for two reasons. Number one, they were afraid she was a flight risk. Okay? The second reason was to guarantee her due process, to protect her rights. And here is the very, very most important part of this. It is very important that the judicial system not expose the photograph of her arrest to avoid opening it to public opinion. Now, I don't know about down in Mexico, but the public sure has a strong opinion of her here. Probably not so much in Mexico, but most deaf here. We've got strong opinions regarding her. It goes on to say that Article 311 of the Penal Code of the State of Baja California Sur prohibits exposing the accused to the media in cases in which their arrest is carried out. And as most of us know, Mexico is under this new system. I think most channel holders have spoke about this. With the new adversarial criminal justice system, the crime against the procurement and administration of justice in Mexico was created, and the following sanctions were established. Now listen to the fine and penalty for breaking this law about exposing the defendant or the accused to the media. Punishment of 3 to 7 years in prison and a fine of 200 to 500 days of salary. 200 to 500 days of salary. Now that's to be imposed on public servants who are in charge of anything to do with justice in this case. So now it kind of makes more sense about the secretive part of it, because who wants to do 3 to 7 years in prison, Mexican prison, and who wants to pay 200 to 500 days of salary, all for exposing that Daejhanae Jackson got arrested and letting the media get a picture of her? Not me. Not me. It makes sense. It goes on to say detained persons may not be introduced to the media for any reason. When a control judge links a defendant to a criminal proceeding and the person is confined to prison, then the state attorney general's office can show a photograph of the accused or the detainee. But the accused must be wearing a black ribbon around their eyes, just like they showed Daejhanae Jackson, with the following writing. Very specific writing. Is presumed innocent until responsibility is declared by the judicial authority. Article 13 CNPP. So that's basically what this article said. I just wanted to drive home the point of what the punishment would be for a public servant who is carrying out justice in this case, or working this case, or doing anything in regards to justice in this case on the Mexican side. What would happen to them? 3 to 7 years in a Mexican prison and 200 to 500 days of salary. That's steep, guys. That's steep. So I understand the secretive part of it, okay? If this turns out to be the case. So it makes sense to me. It makes more sense, I should say. So I just wanted to bring this latest article from Metropolemics to you guys so that you could see it and understand it a little bit better. And I'm going to end the story on that note. Thanks for watching, guys.